Hi, welcome to another edition of Quarantine Kitchen. I am Jenna with Community Service Solutions. Today we are making fresh and fruity slaw. So another kid-friendly recipe for you today. So what you're going to need to get started is a grater. I have a bowl that I use for all of the garbage. Rachel Ray's coin term, the garbage bowl. Doesn't have to be hers, just any will do. So garbage bowl, grater. I have a bowl that I am using to mix all the ingredients together as I chop. You're going to need a medium pear, firm is preferable, a medium apple, and maybe half of a small jicama. And you're going to need about a quarter cup of dried cranberries or raisins and 3 tablespoons of 100% orange juice. So to get started, I've already chopped up 1 pear, just so you don't have to watch me chop everything, but I'm going to chop it in the same way as I chop my apples, so I will demo that for you. I will say the recipe says to grate them, but it's going to give you a really fine texture, and then it's not going to be as crunchy. So I prefer the crunchy texture, so I'm going to chop them matchstick style. So pear and apple, chopping the same way. I'm first just going to cut just along all the sides of the core. Again, keeping that claw of a hand so as not to cut myself. It helps when you make the sound. Okay. So then I'm going to take each section. I'm going to turn it over so that the flat side is on the cutting board. So that's an easier way to cut, much more safe. Okay. More safe, safer. Okay. We might not be in the schools, but we still have to try our best with grammar. Okay. So again, claw, I'm just going to cut these into really thin slices. That motion in the ocean. I love Ann Burrell. I'm going to steal all of her tips and try to give them to you. Okay. Be careful on that last one. It gets kind of harder. Again, adults, if you have kiddos, help them out, guide them a little bit. You know their skill level. Okay. And then I'm just going to stack some of those, whatever's safe. You don't want a huge stack because then it gets hard to control. But just a few together, and then I'm going to cut them really thin again. So again, they look like little matchsticks. And then once I get those, I'm just going to chop like the longer pieces in half. It doesn't have to be perfect. Some of the smaller pieces are going to get cut too. That's okay. I just don't want really long pieces. So as I chop those, I'm going to throw those into the bowl. Okay. And you can choose, I mean, right now we're just kind of using what's on hand. But this calls, I don't know if it calls for a gala apple, but I feel like most of the time when I look at recipes like this for fruit salads, it'll say gala or Fuji, which are pretty sweet. You can choose based on your taste preferences. We usually have some Granny Smiths. I like things kind of sweet. My husband likes things more tart. And honestly, this with the orange juice and the dried cranberries, I mean, those are pretty sweet. I get the 50% less sugar, and they're still fairly sweet. So, let's see here. Mix those guys. I will say, I wanted to show you the whole process of peeling the jicama because I know it's not a common ingredient. Most people probably don't have that on hand. And if you don't have the jicama, it's fine. You can just double your pear or the amount of apples that you're using. Okay, and I'm going to make a little bit less because it's probably just me who's going to eat this. Again, my husband likes the tart, so this is going to be a little sweet for him. But anyway, what I was saying is with the cranberries and with the orange juice, it does get a little bit sweet. So depending on the types of apples or pears you have on hand, you can kind of mix that flavor profile. Hold on, let me pause you for a second. Sorry, the dogs want to go outside. So as I was saying, I really wanted to show you how to cut the jicama, but I did my grocery pickup a few days ago, and it's the sad, we're all making sacrifices. This is a very small problem, but I did pick up 2, and one was bad by the next day, and this one had a few bad spots, so I just went ahead and took those off ahead of time. But it is important with the jicama. Again, you want a flat surface, just like these apples, how we cut it a little bit at first to give you that smooth surface to cut on. Same thing with jicama. The first time I tried to cut a jicama, it was like this big. It was so hard. But you just want to cut off one side and go one side at a time, and I just use my knife. Again, this is a really thick outer layer there, so a peeler's probably not going to do the job. So I just use my knife and try to get all of that outer edge off. Okay. So the jicama I'm actually going to grate just because it'll be a variety of textures, and that's what it calls for. So frankly, this is the first time I'm making this recipe, and I want to try it. So I know for me, I did try grating some of the pears earlier, and that wasn't for me. So this will kind of give me a variety of textures with the soft and the crunchy. It also might be good, if someone's like, jicama, what is that? I don't want to try that. This is kind of a nice way to ease them into it. Although we did a taste test with jicama 2-3 months ago, maybe, with all the playgrounds, all the elementary students on the playgrounds, and jicama went over really well. I say it's kind of like a potato and a pear, or a potato and an apple had a baby. Okay, that's pretty refreshing. It's great, just sliced plain with some lime, maybe some chili powder on there. Give it a little kick. Okay, be careful as you get down to the nub. Okay, so it's quite a bit of jicama. It is a root vegetable, but it's pretty sweet, very refreshing. It's just the pear from before. All right, so I'm adding all of this to my bowl, which you can't see because my grater's in the way. Okay. All right, so I have the pear, I have the apple, as much as I want of it. I have the jicama. Okay, this is cooking, it's not baking, so use as much as you want. Oh my gosh, if somebody ate half of the apple and you have half of an apple left, throw it in there, right? Nothing has to be exact, it's your taste preference. Okay, so I have the fruit, I have the jicama. Now we are going to add the orange juice. So again, about 3 tablespoons, about a 1/4 cup of cranberries. And I really feel like this recipe is screaming for nuts. Maybe that's me, but try some nuts in there if that sounds good to you. Let me know. Ooh, hello. Let me know what you think, okay? Now we're going to, you know what else we need? A dash of cinnamon or nutmeg. It says that, and I just forgot about it for some reason. So I have a lot of cinnamon, so I will use that. So again, to taste, you could use other spices. Okay, we're going to stir this all up. Cinnamon will act as a good guide when you see the little specks of cinnamon on the pear, the apple, the jicama. When you see the specks everywhere and no globs, then you'll know it's pretty well stirred. The jicama too, I should say, kind of has this milky juice that it gives off. So if you're going to serve this right away, I think it's fine to just grate the jicama, and then it's not going to have time to release a lot of that juice. Not that it's bad, but it is going to make it a little soggier over time. So if this is something you're making ahead of time, I would just say go through the extra step and drain the jicama, okay? Drain it, pat it out a little bit, and then that'll get rid of a little bit of that excess. But also, as you'll see, I'm going to dip these into little serving bowls. So you could also use a slotted spoon. That'll get rid of some of that. Oh, that's my orange juice bowl. I don't want to do that. There's one take here at Quarantine Kitchen. Oh, goodness. How you guys holding up? You doing okay? I feel like I'm like this all the time. So this isn't stay-at-home orders affecting me so much as this is just me. And if you know me, you know that's true. Okay, so we can serve it into bowls or little glasses. I'm trying to get on all my clear things for you guys so you can see. I don't have a ton, so you're going to see the same dishes over and over. But I want to taste this. I need a small little spoon. Okay. Like most of these things I've been making ahead of time so I can give you little taste notes, but I'm going to try this real time with you. Mmm. That cinnamon and orange juice, that's really good together. Which a lot of you at home are like, yeah, but I guess I just don't have that combination a lot. I'll be honest, orange juice isn't something I keep in my house a lot, so it's kind of an every once in a while thing for me. I eat a lot of whole fruit, but yeah, that's worth another bite. That pear with the cranberry is really good too. All right, so try this with some different spices. Tell me what you have on hand. Tell me what you replaced. Let me know what you think. I think it's delicious. We'll see you next time. Mouthful.